Welcome to my channel, HF Coins World. Have you ever emptied your pocket at the end of the day, dropped a handful of pennies onto the table, and thought, these can't be worth anything? That's exactly what millions of Americans do every single day. Most of those pennies end up in jars, glove compartments, or forgotten drawers. But every once in a while, a seemingly ordinary coin catches a collector's eye for a reason that most people never notice. Today, we're taking a closer look at the 2016 United States 1-cent coin. It's not a coin that usually makes headlines, yet it has an interesting story, a few collectible varieties, and some details that could make you look at your spare change in a completely different way. To understand why the 2016 penny deserves attention, we have to go back more than a century. The Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became the first circulating U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure. Over the decades, the design changed several times, reflecting different chapters of American history. Then, beginning in 2010, the reverse design featured the Union Shield, symbolizing Lincoln's role in preserving the United States. By 2016, this modern shield reverse had become familiar to millions of Americans, but collectors were still carefully examining every New Year's production for interesting varieties and high-quality examples. The year 2016 was a busy one for the United States Mint. Billions of Lincoln cents were struck at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Coins from Philadelphia do not carry a mint mark, while Denver pieces display a small D below the date. Because such enormous numbers were produced, most 2016 pennies found in circulation are worth only their face value. That may sound disappointing, but this is where the story becomes more interesting. Collectors rarely focus only on how many coins were made. Instead, they look for the exceptions, the coins that escaped the mint with unusual characteristics or survived in exceptional condition. Imagine walking into a local grocery store, paying with cash, and receiving a few pennies in your change. One of those coins looks just a little sharper than the others. Maybe the strike is stronger. Maybe the color is a rich original red. Maybe something about the lettering seems unusual. At that moment, you've experienced exactly what keeps coin collectors searching year after year. The thrill isn't about expecting every coin to be valuable. It's about knowing that occasionally, a small detail can transform an ordinary coin into something collectors genuinely appreciate. One of the first things experienced collectors examine is the mint mark. Philadelphia and Denver coins can both be collectible in top condition, but their market values depend heavily on grade. A brilliant, uncirculated coin with virtually no wear often attracts much more attention than one that spent years moving through pockets and cash registers. Professional grading services evaluate these coins under strict standards, and even a tiny mark can make the difference between a common coin and a premium collectible. Another area collectors carefully inspect is the possibility of mint errors. While most 2016 pennies were produced exactly as intended, manufacturing mistakes occasionally occur during the minting process. Examples include off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchettes, or double design elements created during die production. These errors are uncommon, and their value depends on how dramatic they are, how well they're preserved, and whether experts verify their authenticity. That's why experienced collectors recommend examining unusual coins carefully instead of assuming every odd-looking mark is a valuable error. Here's a fascinating fact that many people don't realize. Tiny changes in the condition of a modern coin can have enormous impact on collector demand. Two 2016 pennies may appear almost identical to the naked eye, but under magnification, one might display cleaner surfaces, sharper details, and stronger luster. Those differences can significantly influence a professional grade, and collectors often compete for the highest grade examples from modern issues. That raises an interesting question. If billions of these pennies exist, why would anyone pay more than 1 cent for one? The answer lies in the psychology of collecting. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete year and mint collections. Others pursue only the finest certified examples available. Some specialize in mint errors, while others search for beautifully toned coins with naturally developed colors. Every collector has a different goal, and that variety of interests creates demand for coins that stand out from the crowd. Now picture another real-world situation. A family decides to clean out an old glass jar that's been collecting pennies for years. Instead of taking everything straight to a coin counting machine, someone notices a bright 2016 penny that barely shows any signs of circulation. Curious, they compare it with other coins and begin researching its condition. Whether or not it turns out to have significant collector value, that simple moment becomes the beginning of an entirely new hobby. Stories like this happen across the United States every year, and they remind us that collecting is often about curiosity just as much as value. When discussing value, it's important to keep expectations realistic. Most circulated 26 Lincoln cents are worth only 1 cent. Attractive uncirculated examples may be worth a modest premium to collectors, while certified coins with exceptionally high grades can sometimes sell for much higher amounts. Verified mint errors may also command premiums, depending on the rarity and quality of the error. However, values constantly change with market demand, collector interest, and auction results, so there is never a guaranteed price for any individual coin. Another surprising detail involves the color designation of copper-plated zinc cents. Collectors often classify Lincoln cents as brown, red-brown, or red based on how much of the original mint color remains. Coins retaining their original bright red surfaces are generally more desirable, especially when preserved without significant marks. That simple color difference, something many people overlook entirely, can make a meaningful difference in collector appeal. As you examine your own change, don't focus only on the date. Look closely at the strike quality, the mint mark, the overall condition, and whether anything appears unusual compared to other pennies. A magnifying glass and good lighting can reveal details that are impossible to notice otherwise. While the odds of finding a major rarity are small, developing the habit of careful observation is exactly how many collectors build valuable knowledge over time. Perhaps the greatest lesson of the 2016 Lincoln cent isn't about finding a fortune overnight. It's about discovering that history, craftsmanship, and collecting can all fit into something as small as a single penny. Every coin passes through countless hands, witnesses everyday moments, and quietly becomes part of America's story. Some remain ordinary forever, while a select few become memorable because of their condition, an unusual mint error, or their place in a collector's set. So before you spend your next handful of change, take one extra minute to look a little closer. That ordinary-looking 2016 penny may simply be another cent, or it could become the coin that sparks your interest in one of America's most fascinating hobbies. If you enjoyed today's journey into the world of coins, be sure to subscribe to HF Coins World for more stories, collecting tips, and educational discoveries. And the next time you receive change at a store, don't rush to put those pennies away. Take a careful look. You never know what interesting piece of American coinage history might be hiding in plain sight.